Greetings everybody. Today I have an Ubajay, and Ubajay is a Brazilian fruit that looks a lot like a apricot or an orange or a peach or something, but it's actually a Eugenia fruit. Eugenia myrcianthes, which I'm probably saying wrong. This was very kindly sent to me by Brian over at raindanceseeds.com. So thank you, Brian. I love Eugenia fruits. I've had a few in the past. We've had the Suriname cherry, the Savannah cherry, the Patangatuba, Patomba. There's a whole bunch of them, and they can vary a lot in flavor and appearance. And this one is probably the most interesting one I've seen. Besides the fact that it gets pretty big, it's also soft on the outside. It's got peach fuzz to it, and a lot of the Eugenias I've had in the past have been very shiny and glossy on the outside. This one, no. The smell of this is really interesting. It's sweet smelling, but like honey-ish, but also has a funk to it that is in the world of what I describe as a gasoline smell. And I don't mean that as a bad thing necessarily, it's just like the closest thing I can kind of relate it to that's typical. You get that sort of smell from fruits like the meringue. Curry leaves have it. There's a few fruits out there I've had in the past that have that kind of funk, but yeah, kind of like gasoline, but in a good way. Yeah, in case you were doubting me when I said it wasn't an apricot. Definitely not an apricot. It's also very juicy. I just got juice all over my leg, but there's worse problems to have. Yeah, there's a few seeds in there. Let's get those out. There's one right there. A light color to it. And here's another one. 2 seeds. The flavor of this is, well, people often describe it as being like a peach, and it is not really like a peach, but a little bit. I can see why people say that. It definitely has the feel of a peach fuzz, and like the juiciness of like a really good peach. But the flavor is like a mild peach plus other things that I think are more in the foreground. What those things are like a fruity kind of like yellow or orange bell pepper, a little bit like a star fruit or loquat, if you've had loquat, and maybe a touch of Asian pear. But there's also like this back note to it that is kind of funky, like garlic or horseradish even. It's not like spicy like horseradish, but like a little bit of that kind of flavor where it really gets you in the nose. It's good. It's good. It's complicated, but it is good. The one that I just had was a very ripe one, and Brian actually sent me an overflowing bowl's worth. I just dropped one. So I've got a whole bunch here. I'm gonna try one that's a little bit less ripe. Let's try this one here. So this one, as you can see, is a lot smaller and more of an oblong shape. But yeah, this one is not nearly as ripe as the first one that I had. The less ripe one has more of the horseradishy kind of taste, but it also has a flavor in there that's a little bit like candy, like an artificial candy taste. Not sure exactly what, like artificial strawberry or pineapple or something. If you're biting into this expecting it to be like an apricot, you might be taken aback by those funky flavors in there. But if you're cool with funky flavors, it's pretty nice. Oh, I forgot to break down the sweetness and sourness. Let's do that. We'll try another one. This one's kind of like between the two. Sweetness is 3 out of 10, and the tartness It's like 2. It also has a little bit of a bitterness to it, but like the bitterness that you get from a peach. So like low, like a 1 or something. Not interested. So I think that's about it for the Ubajay. You know, Brian did send me a whole bunch of these, and I was thinking of doing something with them, but honestly, after eating these, I don't think they would work so well as like a jam. I think you would lose the flavor, or syrup. It would be good as a juice. However, I hear that there's a laxative effect to these if you eat too many of them. I think, you know, eating what I had, like 3 of them, it's fine in a sitting. But if you were to like grind all these down and drink it all in one go, it's probably gonna give you some trouble. So I'm not gonna do that. I've got work today. You know, on their own, they also are kind of like drinking a juice. They're so juicy that you bite into them, it's more like you're drinking it than eating it. And this is one of the most interesting Eugenias that I've seen. Yeah, there's a lot of different Eugenias. I've had a lot of fruit in that genus, and I don't think I've seen any that were this big and hardy also. Like, this is one that I think you could sell, maybe not at a supermarket. They are still fairly fragile, but you could probably sell these like at a farmer's market. It's got like a little bit more oomph to it, and the flavor is very unique. It might be challenging to some people because it's a little funky, but you know, if you're cool with funky flavors, this is something that you would definitely like. So yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks once again to raindanceseeds.com for sending this to me, and thank you everybody for watching. Take care. I would like to give a big shout out to Smarter Every Day, Wootbot, JMac, and Schoolbird. They are mega patrons over on patreon.com. This is how I can afford to do all the things that I'm doing on this channel, so it's a big help. Thank you so much, guys. And anyone else watching who would like to support the channel and get some cool stuff in return, click the link in the description below. Another thing that you can do is buy a t-shirt. I've got them for sale over on my website, which I've linked in the description below as well. Thank you so much, everybody. See you next time.